Good morning, Emmanuel Church. The title of our sermon this morning is God Writes a New Chapter. And as I was reflecting on the title and the readings, I began to think about my own journey in life. And it's the same for many of us. First chapter, it's very much like a book. Our whole life is like a book. The first chapter being when we were born, when we were baptized. Another chapter is the first day at school. Another one, our first love. Marriage. Children. Divorce. And the loss of a loved one. All individual chapters that define who we are. How we meet those challenges, how we react to those challenges, draws us closer to being the person God needs us to be. Even if it's in our entirely broken state. No matter when we come to God, it doesn't matter. What matters is that we come to God. And the Bible is very much a reflection of our lives. Our lives are reflected in the Bible. All the way through. And each book of the Bible can be viewed as a chapter. Chapter 1, in the beginning. Chapter 2, Eden, the fall from grace. And those chapters of the Bible, those books of the Bible, chart man's fall, partial rise again to fellowship with God, and then falling away again. And isn't that just a story of all our lives? One minute we feel close to God, then we do something stupid, and we automatically feel distant from God. Maybe we've said something we shouldn't have said, felt something, acted in an aggressive or a wrong way, and we completely feel separated from God in that moment. And that's the same for all the books of the Bible. Man's inability to be in continual contact, in fellowship with God. That is until you read the books of the prophets. Those books shine a light on a chapter that is yet to be written, that speak of not just the Israelite nation being a godly people, a royal priesthood, but all of humanity. That promise given to Abraham. There's a feeling of it in the air when the prophets speak about the coming of a time when all nations will be reunited back to God. But that chapter, that book that I'm talking about, is the book of Jesus Christ, the New Testament. That chapter in when Christ, through his living and dying and raised to life again, points the way, removes the sin for all mankind, once and for all, forever. We are shown we can come back into harmony with God, into that oneness, that fellowship with God, across that chasm that could never have been breached before. So that new chapter is where our lives today converge with that of the Bible. Because we're called to be a part of that Bible story. The story of God and humanity. Matthew puts it very clearly in chapter 28, the Great Commission. He tells us, "Therefore go and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit." Well, whilst we can't necessarily baptize, we can certainly make disciples of all nations. Because we're all part of the one body. Because of that chapter that was written, that new chapter that said that Gentiles had the same rights as the Israelites had. We are all brothers and sisters together because of Christ's sacrifice and his rising to life, taking that sin on